Hello and welcome to WeXG Academy Online. In the previous video, we looked at questions 16 through 20 of the IGCSE Biology paper 2-1 in the winter 2019 series. My name is Chris and I'll be your tutor for today. Question 21. Lactic acid builds up in the muscles during vigorous exercise. During recovery, how is the lactic acid removed? So if you remember, anaerobic respiration produces lactic acid as a waste product. And this creates an oxygen debt which needs to be repaid in the liver. So it's transported to the blood and it combines with oxygen in the liver to break down the lactic acid and repay that oxygen debt. Okay, so if we have a look here at the options for the answers. Okay, so aerobic respiration in the liver. Okay, so we mentioned that, yes, oxygen is needed here to break down the lactic acid to do so. Okay, it's not anaerobic respiration. Okay, question 21. Lactic acid builds up in the muscles during vigorous exercise. During recovery, how is the lactic acid removed? Well, if you remember, lactic acid is produced during anaerobic respiration. That is during exercise. Now, when you stop exercise, you're in recovery, which means the lactic acid has already been released into the bloodstream and transported to the liver, where it will then react with oxygen through aerobic respiration to break down that lactic acid and repay the oxygen debt itself. Okay, so with that knowledge, you should be able to answer this question. Now, if we look here, it says aerobic respiration of lactic acid in the liver. Yes, this is the correct answer, option A. We can remove option B because no, the process of recovery needs oxygen to break it down. Excretion of lactic acid in the lungs, no, it's not going to come out when you exhale. And removal of lactic acid by the alimentary canal, no, it does not come out in the feces. Okay. Question 22. The neurons at the synapse contain vesicles. Which type of substance is found inside the vesicles? Okay, so we know that electrical impulses travel along the neurons. When they reach the presynaptic knob, it stimulates these vesicles to fuse with the membrane and release the contents into the synapse. Now that substance is called a neurotransmitter. Okay, the neurotransmitter would then diffuse across the synapse and bind to receptors on the postsynaptic knob to then stimulate a continuation of the electrical impulse in the next neuron. Okay, so with that knowledge, you should be able to answer this question. So it's not an enzyme, okay, nothing's being broken down here, although enzymes will break down the neurotransmitters inside the synapse later. Chromosomes, nope, it's definitely, the chromosomes are still inside the nucleus of cells. Neurotransmitter, yes, option C is the correct answer, and no, steroids are not going through the synapse itself either, okay. Question number 23. The diagram shows muscles that control the size of the pupil in the eye. So you have your circular muscles and your radial muscles, okay? So remember that when the radial muscles contract, it pulls the pupil outwards, which dilates the pupil. And when this one contracts, the circular muscles therefore must relax to allow that dilation to take place, okay? So it says, how do the muscles make the pupil smaller? All right. Well, in this case, remember they're an antagonistic muscle pair. One contracts, one relaxes. So the circular muscles are responsible for, should we say, the contraction or constriction of the pupil, making it smaller. So when the circular muscles contract, the radial muscles must relax. Okay. So because remember the antagonistic muscle pairs, they cannot both contract and they cannot both relax. One must contract, one must relax. Okay, so in this case, to make it smaller, the circular ones need to contract. Okay, so the ones that contract are the circular muscles, giving you option B as the answer. Okay, C is incorrect. Question 24. More adrenaline is produced by the adrenal glands when a person is frightened. This increases effects of several parts of the body. Okay, so remember that adrenaline has these few effects. When your adrenaline increases, this causes you to breathe faster and deeper to allow more oxygen for respiration. So you have more energy released in case you need to run or escape something that you're afraid of. This also increases blood glucose concentration. This stimulates the liver to break down glycogen back into glucose and release that into the bloodstream. It also increases your heart rate to make sure the blood that contains extra glucose and oxygen can reach your cells for respiration. And your dilution of pupil does take place as well in a result of you to be able to visually see more in the area as well. Okay, so let's have a look here. Which rows are correct? Question 24. More adrenaline is produced by the adrenal glands when a person is frightened. This effect increases several parts of the body. Okay, so we know that when adrenaline is secreted into the bloodstream, it has a few effects. One, it leads to an increase in heart rate. This is to increase the blood flow to cells that need it for aerobic respiration to release energy for whatever you may need it to do, whether it's to run faster or more muscle contraction or whatever you need to do in that situation. Your breathing rate will also increase, so the depth and speed will increase because you need more oxygen into your blood, and you also need to remove the carbon dioxide faster as well. Okay, this also attaches to your liver, and it will lead to the breakdown of glycogen to release more glucose into the bloodstream, leading to an increase in blood glucose. It will also lead to a dilation of the eyes to allow you to allow more light in, so you're more alert and aware of the situation around you. Okay, so with that knowledge, we can look here at this question. So option 1, it says blood glucose concentration increases. This indicates no, it does not. And this increases, this says yes, it does decrease. Now, this statement is incorrect. As mentioned at the start, the blood glucose concentration does increase. It does not decrease. So 1 is a false statement. Okay. Number 2, heart rate. We know that it increases. Yes, that is true. And does it decrease? No. Okay, that's also true. So number 2 is a yes, a true statement. Breathing rate and depth. Yes, it does increase. No, it does not decrease. Okay, so 3 is also a correct statement. 4, the dilation of the pupil. Okay, so this box says that it does not increase, but it decreases. Okay, that's false, and that's false as well. So option 4 is also incorrect. So your only true statements here are option 2 and 3. Okay, so we can eliminate option A, we can eliminate option B, we can eliminate option D, and the correct answer is C. Question 25. A patient has dye injected into the bloodstream to supply his kidneys. The dye appears in his excretory system as shown. Okay, so you have dye and no dye. Okay, so you can clearly see the visual here. It says, which part is blocked? The kidney? Well, no, the kidneys are both containing the dye, so there's no blockage there. The ureter? Well, this ureter has no blockage. However, this one does. As you can see, this part of the ureter has no dye, which means something must be blocking the ureter. So option B is correct. Let's just look at C. The bladder, well, no, you can still see all the dye there. There's no blockage in the bladder. And in the urethra, you can clearly see that all dye is present, and therefore it is not option D. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please register for a free demo or visit our website for more information. And I look forward to seeing you in our next video.